I've picked up a little bit of this, and I wanted to isolate my apple. Try to single it out, sort of, so I can keep that separate. Worked on these two apples a little bit, brightened them up. I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna see if we can blend the shadow of it out. I'm not going up this far because these are my highlights where the lights are going to be hitting. I just want to soften these edges right here up. I'm just using a soft brush, and I'm hoping it's just lightly blending them. Go over here, clean my brush off real fast. Go over here, and again, I'm not touching up here. I'm just lightly glazing the way I know the apple rolls. Alright now, the only one that looks weird, this one. Let's add some more. Try to add an oranger, a little bit of orange red to it. Try to give it a little bit more flavor so it doesn't look so rotten. So, can't even see that? Let's see if we can do a little bit more. Add some more yellow. See if we can just add yellow to it already. See what? Well, that looks okay, doesn't it? Looks better. If that's the case, then let's do the same thing with this one down here. But I'm not touching the tops. That'll look alright. Let me wash my brush out. Make sure it's clean. My blender, my big dry brush that is now wet with thinner because I have to clean it so I don't contaminate my other tones and my other colors. And then we're going to go ahead and come back in and lay in the shadows. The good shadows. We're going to use, again, a lot of white, or thinner rather, a lot of thinner packages. There's a lot of thinner. And what I'm wanting to do is I'm going to go ahead and go into my white. And you know what I realized? A little touch of black. We used a little touch of blue. When we did the shadows up here, we used the same silver color that we used in that. But it's looking different. Imagine. It's only in different intensities, huh? Let's go into the shadow. More thinner. Just go ahead and see there's a shadow right here. There's a shadow going down here. And that probably looks like it's connected. Right here. And my paint is spilling out everywhere off my brush. Just going to touch this apple right here. Go over it just a little bit. Right up in here. The whole thing with making something that you've painted look real a lot of times is overlappage, which this probably doesn't look real at all, but hopefully it will when I get done with it. And again, I noticed that there's a difference between this and that. So I must be adding the wrong amount of blue and the wrong amount of white. So I added both a little bit more of each and more thinner. Now the apples are going to have a shadow that is going to be cast on the linen. It's going to be taking some of the color away from the highlight, some of the color away from the shadows. When that happens, we can always fix it. That's the beautiful thing about oils. You accidentally paint over something, and you can see that I'm going around the items or the subject matter, only to come back in and to improve the shape a little bit. But with the oils, we can go back in and we can fix what we mess up. And I love that about oils. This here is going to go on, continue on down in here. This is a roll, so we're going to have to make that a little bit darker. Add a little bit more black. To my blue mixture. A little bit more right here as it comes out of here. Now it looks very weird right now. Because I'm taking some of this up into the shadow so that I can remove. It looks like it's pasted on in some places. So I can go ahead and remove that thought. So we're not bombarded by it as we're painting in our rolls. Add some there. And now some more shadow can go up in here because this is shadow. Thinner, white, touch of white, some more black, and touch of the Carillion blue. This is going to be a very interesting painting, huh? It already is, I think. This is going to come down right to the edge of this. I need it separate from that because that's not a roll. And we're going to come around on this end and we're going to bring some of this shadow back over a roll. We're going to make this roll up as we go. Some of these rolls would be better if they were placed somewhere else. I'm dripping my color all over the place. Now see, I don't like this. This looks like it's draining into here. This looks like it's pouring off into there. So let's add a little bit more black to that area. A little bit more blue to that area. Let's try to cause a separation here. So it's not separate. Let's try a little bit more black. A bit more blue. That looks separate, doesn't it? See, right in here, excuse me, right in here it looks like this is giving way to this. So let's separate that as well. A little bit of gray, darker gray. Let's go ahead and separate our handle. Bring this color down. Give it a round look. This roll is going to be the dark part because I want this to be in darkness, a little bit more darkness than the right side is, simply because I think it looks better, and I've always been taught that when you have your light source is coming from the left side, you always want the light to be against the dark and the dark to be against the light. It just makes better composition that way. And plus you can show off your subject a little bit better. And I know I said I didn't want to use no black, but I ended up using black. And this here, these are pieces of paint that came off of my brush, and we can fix all that. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do this apple. Let's give it something, because our shadow's going to be in here. I'm going to have some shadow right there. Some more light texture right here. Now I'm going to add more white, because I'm going to lighten this up now. I think I've got all my shadow in, all my shadow color, my shadow tone that I would like, because it's looking like it's pouring off my canvas right here. So let's go ahead and add something right here to give it a little bit of a different look to it. So that when I do add my shadow of my apples, it's going to be in there. Let's try to get rid of this green real quick. See, there's going to be a separation right here, so this can be in shadow, and we can try to darken this area right here. Alright, let's work in. Let's go ahead and start making our colors up here. I'm just going to clean my brush out. Go into phthalo blue, Grumbacher red, and white. Make it a nice juicy purple. I'm just going to start down here. Grab it up there. Pull it down. thinner. That's one roll. You probably can't see it very well. It looks like a purple banana. And as it comes, I'll add this part to it. I'll add that part to it. If you can see, I don't think my colors are showing up very well. That one is. I'm just going to add blue, straight blue to it to give it that little texture. That's going to be touching there. The rest is going to be covered with the white. Let's go up and do another one. We'll add more thinner. I'm going to hit here. Do it just like that. And I'm going to go back down in here. I'm going to hit it where that would have been. The rest is going to be white. Alright, let's begin. I always got to take my time, clean my palette. I'm going to keep these two grays here, simply because I may want to do something else with the silver. I might want to fix something or paint something completely different. So now that I've got that cleared off, put both my mixing brushes up, get me another clean rag, and let's go at it. Alright. Clean this brush out very good, because we're not reusing this brush because it's got all the colors in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bright, a small bright. This is going to help me do it a little bit better and give me more control of the color. Thin it down very well. A lot of white. See how this is going to look. Move it over just a little bit. So now, I'm not going to paint it in like this. I'm just going to touch it and pull, touch it and pull, touch it and pull, touch it and pull. This is going to give me the rhythm of application that makes it look like it's standing out in front, as though it's in the light. I'll go ahead and go on down in the middle. Now on the back side of this roll, I'm going to be adding whatever this is. But right now, I'm going to leave that blue alone. Go back up in here. Since this particular is coming around, and we had originally had this in shadow, I'm going to come and touch it. Effect, pull it down, touch it and affect it, touch it and affect it. And I'm going to leave it like that for now. This might be too white. These are only going to be the little touches. Although I do see warm, let's add just a small touch of yellow ochre. Let's go back over this. Does that look a little bit better? A little bit more warmer? And right here, I'm just going to go like this right here with it. I know I said I wouldn't do it that way, but the big places we can do that. We can, the big places, we can do it like this as long as we affect them differently. If I was to paint the whole thing in like this right here, even down to the intricacies, that wouldn't look okay. And this part right here, we're just going to go ahead and take it on back up in here. Touching the blue as well. We're going to bring it on down in here. And I noticed there's a touch of red in there somewhere. Alright. Now in here, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit into the shadow color that I said was right here. There, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it right there. Because there's more than just light and dark. You have where the light hits the strongest, and then you have the light that goes everywhere else. This is the light that goes everywhere else. Now I'm going to go back into more white. Small touch of yellow ochre. And thinner. Light's going to hit right here. And it's going to be affected on this end. It's going to be affected right there. And also, more thinner. It's also going to hit right here. But only this is going to go up. Now that looks very bright white, but it's not. Alright, with this, we're just going to go ahead and go and pull it down into there and pull this on up into there as well. The whole thing. Smooth it out some. Clean my brush. Go back into my white, titanium white, yellow ochre, and thinner. If it's hitting here, it's going to hit here as well. Only because it's going to roll away from the place it hit the hardest. And once I'm not adding the highlights yet. These are the roll away highlights. I'm adding the strong direct highlight when I blend all the background into it. That way my apples are going to stand out. My container is going to stand out. The light is going to be complement to the dark, and the dark is going to be hiding everything here and making everything visible here. It's going to be the light. So I think it's going to work out alright. Might not be the picture that we intended it for it to be, but it's going to be there. It's going to be nice, I think. Yeah. Might not be what I intended to paint, but it's going to be nice. Alright. Let's see here. It's going to hit there. It's going to hit here. Where is it? It's going to hit here. This is going to offer me that place that I wanted. That's going to put this in the back of this. It's going to give me that ideal look that it looks in the back. I'm going to cross my apple a little bit, because this is going to be right here, and most of this is going to be in shadow from that apple. I'm going to hit right here, right here, right here. Now, do I have enough for purple? I'm going to go into phthalo blue, cerulean blue, Gumbraca red, thinner, a little bit more blue, cerulean blue, and we're going to decide that this right here is going to come down like this. This is going to be some of our shadow. That's going to complement a lot of other things that is sitting around. And I'm going to give it some more shadow, some more creases to the folds. Right here. Cut that down a little bit. Right here. Right here and there. It's going to be that part that I'm also going to put this shadow color, I'm going to call it, where it's almost imposing on this yellowish look. But also I'm putting it back here, but I'm mixing it with a little bit of the gray. Well, no, I'll mix it with the black. That way it calls a shadow of its own. And I can cut down into it too. Because all these other colors. Now, let's go ahead and add our get a little bit more red.